Hey! So, I just got back from a bit of a break over Christmas and, well, I sat down well rested, ready to start the mountain of spells and items and monsters and other gubbins that I need to make for my tabletop RPG, and I went to type, and, well, it was just like that scene in SpongeBob. Nothing happened. Nothing. So, let's cheat some creativity. When I first started Arcane Ugly, I showed you how to make word banks, a collection of words to get inspired by and generate ideas. Well, I need that, but way, way better. What I need is an automated process to throw a bunch of words at me, good words, and on top of that, give me words and combinations better than anything I could come up with using my brain. That sounds, to me, like a job for like an arcane familiar or something. Go fetch me cool words, I'd say. Unfortunately, all the magical creatures I've caught so far are useless, so I think the answer to this problem, as scary as it sounds, is programming. Let's make a magical thought provoker. When I was in high school, I taught myself Game Maker, which is the closest thing I ever got to learning to code, and I was pretty rubbish at it. But this is a simple enough task that I think I can recall just enough 7-year-old information to make it work. With the help of the internet and maybe some trial and error. Yeah, okay, a lot of trial and error. Now, the number one rule of tools is a tool is something you should want to use. There's no point in having it otherwise. And so, if I'm actually going to use my magical thought provoker, it needs to look cool and feel cool. My vision is like a bad 90s computer program that looks sort of like 90s magical. More specifically, I want this to sort of look like a dodgy keygen for your cracked copy of Paint Shop Pro. Ugly, but nostalgic. So I went with a low resolution pixel art design because the smaller resolution you work in, the easier it is to sort of make it look like you know what you're doing. Plus, I want this to be like a little application physically because I'll be using it while I'm writing, so it has to share screen space. Now, what's really important is that we throw all legibility out the window because of aesthetics and because in no fantasy book I've ever read are spellbooks described as easy to read. As a little graphical thing, I added these lines which appear with the word generation, and they're sort of meant to like invoke fortune-telling vibes. Fortune-telling vibes, like that's a real thing. I'm thinking throwing bones, or what other things do fortune tellers do? Anyway, that sort of thing. I just want it to look like, oh, you know, you're reading some sort of chart. Anyway, where am I getting the words for the random generator? Well, there's about 10,000 words in the generator, broken up into 5 lists. One list is made up of my word banks I made for my D666 tavern generator. One list is a bunch of mostly fantasy-specific words taken from lists of commonly used words from authors I like. And one list is based on the 5 senses. One list is from a public domain collection of common words, which I curated out all the uncomfortable or naughty words or totally irrelevant words. And finally, the last list is a new one that I've made, a new word bank I made specifically for this project, which I collected from a whole bunch of places, mostly these books and games that I love and inspire me. Here's how it works. When the program runs, it chooses 5 words from any of those lists. Because of how the lists are themed, and because of the way probability works, I think the output should feel somewhat magical in terms of what words are spit out. But there should also be like a nice variety of words too, to make ideas a bit more abstract. And that's it. And yeah, now it's a real program that works. And I've also put it on my Patreon for patrons to download if you want it. It's currently Windows only, but if people like it, I can also make it a web app or something for miscast.co. We'll see. Okay, let's put it to use now. So the 2 ways I've been using it is, first of all, as a standalone thing. I generate words and start some interesting ideas with them, like sentence starters, and I put them in a document. The other way I use them is as like a problem-solving thing. I have started doing this thing in the mornings where this sounds really lame, but I've made myself like a questionnaire to create a magic trinket and a sigil and tattoo every day. Super lame because it's a questionnaire, but it's really effective for my productivity. And so when I'm stuck on a section, I open up the generator and start rolling new words. And suddenly I know what the item that allows you to breathe underwater actually looks like, or the one that allows you to talk to cats, or, you know, what the goblin's head thing means, or the tattoo that helps you find better loot. What does it look like? Well, use a generator. Anyway, the combinations of words it spits out, I think, are pretty good. Sometimes it does actually feel like magic. Sometimes it doesn't, which also probably feels like magic. But I think it's a total success. And I have it forever because you never really know when you're going to need that oddly specific tool again. And I can see myself using it in all sorts of projects. So yeah, that's really it. And also, so the next episode of Arcane Ugly, I'll be taking on comment suggestions. I've gone through and I've collected all the suggestions from all the previous videos, and I'm going to talk about them in the next video. So in the comments, leave me suggestions because I might answer them, or I won't, but I probably might. I don't know. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Bye.